What's going on, everyone? This is Jags Central, and I hope you're all doing well. Another close loss for the Jacksonville Jaguars. How many times have I said that this season? This is the fifth time that we've lost a game by 5 points or less, and now we're 2-7. If our playoff hopes weren't over last week, they're surely over now. Unless we go 10-0 to end the season, and even then, it's not a guarantee that we're going to win every single game to end the season. And yeah, our playoff hopes are over. I think now it's just thinking about the next few games, getting through the season, and then thinking about free agency and the draft now. And essentially, what killed us today is the turnovers. Just like what killed us last week, which was turnovers. This week, our turnovers gave them 13 points and we lost by 5. Last week, 14 points from our turnovers and we lost by 3. So you can see straight away, it's nothing to do with the way the defense is playing, the way the offense is playing. We'll get into the offense a bit later, but it's the turnovers. At the end of the day, if you're going to turn over the ball and the team that get the ball make points out of those, it's just impossible. So we might as well just start the game 14-0 because that's essentially what's been happening in the last 2 weeks. Today, the Eagles are a team that struggle in the first quarter. They haven't scored any points in the first quarter all season. And what do? We say, you know what? We'll give you the ball on the 20-yard line and let's see if you guys can score in the first quarter. And of course, they say thank you very much and they go and score a touchdown. But I just want to get into the defense, because usually I start on the offense, but I think today I need to start on the defense. They played super, super well all game, especially in the first half. Even though they gave up 17 points, they kept the team in the game. There's nothing they could have done about. Of course, they could have stopped the Eagles from scoring after we turned the ball over. But what choice do you give the defense in the first half? The defense was not getting any help back from the offense. They spent 22 minutes of the 30 minutes in the first half on the field. So you can't blame them for not being able to stop the Eagles. It was literally the Eagles offense versus the Jacksonville Jaguars defense in the first half. And yeah, so they kept them to 17 points. I think the defense gave up 2 field goals, and then the 2 touchdowns that they gave up was essentially due to our turnovers. So the defense played pretty well, to be honest. And then we come back into the second half and we're thinking, all right, cool. The offense hasn't played well all game. So all first half, only 32 yards of offense. And let's see, they're going to start with the ball in the second half, and let's see what they've got. The offense goes 3 and out. And from this point on, I'm thinking, all right, cool. It doesn't look like the offense is going to start clicking. The defense couldn't stop the Eagles, and the Eagles go and score, and it's 22-0. And from then on, I'm just thinking, all right, cool. The game is probably over. The offense is not humming, and also the defense don't look like they're going to get a turnover. So then the Jags come out and they put their best drive at the time together, and they make it a 22-8 game where Trevor Lawrence had sneaked it in for a touchdown, and then we converted on the 2-point conversion. Then the next drive, the Eagles have the ball, and the defense finally get a turnover, and Trayvon Walker picks it up when Saquon Barkley lost the ball, and he runs it back in for a touchdown. And I want to give a big shout out for Trayvon Walker there, because he could have easily got the ball, and after feeling some contact, he could have just given himself up. But then he was thinking, no, there's no way I'm going to go down. And he refused to be tackled, and he got himself into the end zone. And now the game is at 22-16, and now we have a game. And I'm thinking, all right, cool. The momentum has swung our way. Even though the offense has had just one good drive, it's a 22-16 game, and that's what can happen in the NFL. Anything can happen. So then on the next drive, the Eagles almost give up a interception, but Cisco lets the ball hit the ground before he grabs it. And at this moment of time, before I even know whether it's an interception or not, I'm thinking, oh my, the momentum has literally swung. Because at 22-0, it did not look like the Eagles are going to lose the game, and it didn't look like the Jags were going to get back into the game. We get the ball back. We end up stopping the Eagles, and then we get the ball back, and then the Eagles get the ball back. And then now at 22-16, you're thinking, all right, cool. Can the defense get another stop? But the Eagles go up and make it 28-16, and it's a 2-score game. But the annoying thing about this is that the one thing that's really annoying about the defense there was that they gave up a 3rd and 22 to Devontae Smith for a touchdown, and they gave up a 3rd and 17 to Saquon Barkley just before the first half ended. And it was kind of really annoying because you've done all that hard work, and this is something I've spoken about all season, is that the defense does the first down and the second down amazing, but it's just a third down that just lets the defense down. So now the Eagles are up 28-16, and we're thinking, all right, cool. This drive from the Jaguars are basically a do or die, because if we don't end up converting, there's half of the fourth quarter left, and it's going to be really difficult to basically get 2 scores and stop the Eagles twice in that time. We drive up, and Trevor Lawrence ends up running it in for a touchdown, and it's a 28-23 game. And now we're thinking 5-6 minutes left of the quarter. Let's get a stop and let's get this ball back. The Eagles drive up the field and they find themselves in 3rd and short situation inside the field goal range. And because we've stopped them, because you have to remember, the Eagles are a team that are the tush-push specialists. Like 3rd and short, 4th and short, they're going to go for tush-push, and 90% of the time they're going to get it. But we stopped them twice when they tried to do it for a 2-point conversion. And they decided not to go for the tush-push on 3rd and short, and they wanted to go for a different play. They couldn't convert. And with 2 minutes and 14 seconds left, Jake Elliott steps up for a field goal. And now, with the field goal, he can make an 8-point game. But from 55 plus out, he hasn't made one all season. He misses. Now we have a game. We have 2 minutes left. The Jags have the ball on the 40 or 50-yard line or something like that. And all we need is Trevor Lawrence to basically go up the field, get a touchdown, and win us this game. And I was really confident at this time because the offense, we have the momentum. You can see the offense is just playing well. You know Trevor Lawrence can do it because last week he went up 87 yards to do it, and I was thinking he's definitely going to do the same thing this time. We start really poorly. 2 incompletions, we're 3rd and 10, and we get bailed out by a PI. And then we get close into the red zone with a pass to Trammell, and then we have 1 minute and 42 seconds. So remember this, we have 1 minute and 42 seconds, no timeouts, and we're in the red zone. And at this moment, at time, I'm thinking, all right, cool, just run the ball to get closer to the end zone and to give us a chance, because we've got 1 minute and 42 seconds. And the other thing is that you should also be thinking about running the clock out to not give the Eagles a chance to have a chance to reply. So it's that game where if you have the touchdown, you take it, and if you don't, you just run the ball. And I really thought that we should be running the ball here because we've got 1 minute and 42 seconds, and just see how far we can get by running the ball, because the Eagles are probably going to be thinking to defend the pass, so we maybe could get an extra few yards that we would have had they been selling out to stop the run. Others might say it's not the smartest thing to do at this time, because the closer you get to the goal line, the spaces become tighter. Running routes for the wide receivers become tighter, and you're working with tighter passing angles as well and passing lanes, so it makes it even more difficult for Trevor Lawrence to find a pass. And I kind of thought it would be a good chance to basically give the receivers a breather, because we just went, I think, 3, 4, 5 plays or so, all passing. So I just thought, you know what, this could be a good time just to give them a breather, and let's see how much closer we can get to the end zone. It would be nice to see the team run it up the gut and see what we can get. But at the same time, you're thinking, all right, you're on the 20-yard line. You've got much more space to pass the ball, and wide receivers have much more space to work with. And you're thinking, this is the way that we're gonna attack this last minute or so. But it wasn't the case. Trevor Lawrence saw Deonis Johnson lined up with a linebacker, and he thought mismatch straight away, and I'm going to go for this. But he overthrows the ball way too high, gives the Eagles defender a chance to grab it, and gives Deonis Johnson no chance to even essentially play defense to stop the Eagles defender to intercept it. And he intercepts it, and basically that was the end of the game. And And yeah, so it is what it is. The one issue I had with it is that if we make it and we get the touchdown, we're up. But the other issue is that we need to hold the Philly defense from getting into field goal range. They have 2 timeouts and they have 90 seconds. So it wasn't really, for me, it wasn't really the smartest thing to do. I think we should have taken more time off the clock and I tried to get into the end zone that way. And the other thing I want to talk about is that the offense, again, 3rd down, can't convert. We were 3 out of 10. And then we also had only 32 yards in the first half, and that's essentially also what killed us as well. And the issue is that when we get on the field, we can't stay on the field for more than a few minutes. Like, we literally, I think in the first half, the longest drive we had might have been 3 minutes or so, and the rest was just basically like 3 and outs. We were literally like a minute and a half long. But I understand Trevor Lawrence went 15 for 31, less than 50%. He threw for about 160 yards, 2 interceptions. One of them wasn't his fault, and he had no passing touchdowns, but he had 2 rushing touchdowns. And I know he had 2 of his top receivers out, Kirk and Davis, and then Brian Thomas Jr. was basically a non-factor. I know he got the 2-point conversion, but I think he was probably still suffering or recovering from his injury, so he wasn't really used the way we usually use him in the big plays, and even like not screen plays, what's it called again? Wide receivers runs. But yeah, we came to the game today without Cam Robinson. Cam Little was playing at left tackle. The O-line looked okay, protected Trevor Lawrence pretty well, to be honest. They gave up 2 sacks, but it was all right. But I think the running lanes weren't really open. And then with the Eagles, they lost AJ Brown in the second half, and they couldn't really use their tush push against the Jacksonville defense. Like, the defense really stepped up for that tush push. But it is what it is. It was a close game, and to be honest, it was more competitive than I would have thought, especially at 22-0. I was thinking, damn, this is a bad game. But the Jags came back, made a game out of it, and that's all we can ask for. But at the same time, we just need to cut out on these turnovers, especially if they're turning into points. That's what makes it even more annoying. But it is what it is. Next week, we have the Detroit Lions, and yeah, I am not looking forward to it. I think that's probably going to be the best team we're going to face all season. But yeah, go Jags.